generative AI to create hyper-tailored recommendations and contents for our customers, and it can actually drive deeper and deeper customer engagements. For an example, the AI-driven tools can actually suggest our customized financial plans when we try to interact with them as a customer. It can actually give us investment ideas. It can actually consumer goods, or depending on the individual preferences and the profiles. It basically makes the service more relevant and impactful for us. Now, given this background, like what generative AI is and all, there is a question that now, if we know that what generative AI can do, then you might be wondering that, what does it actually have to do with enterprise architecture? To understand that, we need to actually take a look at the first very basic question: what is EA? I'm pretty sure, and I'm 100% sure everyone here knows what is EA, but then just for to understand the context, we need to probably look into what does exactly EA plays a role in an enterprise. Now, enterprise architecture is a strategic discipline of designing, planning, managing an organization's entire architecture. So it includes data, processes, application technologies, and people. It acts as a bridge for aligning the IT capabilities with the business goal to create a scalable, adaptable, resilient enterprise. Now, some of the reason for which EA could be an indispensable across industries, and very specifically to the financial industries, healthcare industries, e-commerce, or probably FMCG per se, are like aligning IT and business strategies. Like EA ensures IT systems directly support and enhance the business goals. Just imagine a bank aiming to boost customer experiences or customer engagements through digital channels. The EA can actually provide a framework to align the IT investments, such as a mobile application channel. It prioritizes the initiatives based on their impact, ensuring the digital transformation efforts like increasing adaptation of the mobile banking are focused and aligned with the organization's long-term goal. Scalability is another area where EA plays a very important role. It is very crucial for responding the fluctuation of customer demands and transaction volumes, like during major IPO events or probably a global market activity. The banks and the stock markets probably can experience a surge in the transactions. Similarly, e-commerce platforms or the payment gateways may see massive traffic spikes during the peak shopping days like a Black Friday. Now, EA ensures the IT systems are designed to scale seamlessly, allowing the critical infrastructure to handle such surges without a performance degradation. This prevents the downtimes and, of course, smooth operations. We also look into resilience of an uninterrupted operation, where probably, let's say, for an example, a cyber attack targeting a bank's payment gateway. The EA can actually help enterprise architecture can actually help design the architecture such a way that can actually features like automated failovers, disaster recovery mechanisms, and robust security protocols. So in a nutshell, these are the roles that an enterprise architecture plays, or enterprise architect actually plays in an enterprise. Now, given these two backgrounds, the most important part is that since we explored the individual strength of EA and as well as generative AI, we can actually focus and see how these two powerful disciplines can come together to deliver the exceptional value for one organization. Now, strategic alignment of EA initiative or AI initiatives. EA acts as a guidance framework or the guidance framework to ensure that generative AI implements and aligns with the organization's business objectives. It actually can focus where the AI-powered chatbots, whether the chatbots will actually be business, answering the business requirements, or probably I would say like initiatives that directly supporting the customer experience goals, which are very much tied with our business goals or objectives that we wanted to match. Scalability of AI integrations, EA can actually strengthen by saying that enabling the seamless integration of these new technologies, including or not only just generative AI, but also all other new technologies that we have in our foray. Now, enhancing the data utilization, of course, generative AI relies heavily on data. So basically, a model gets trained on the data, and EA defines the data governance, which actually ensures that this data is well structured, secure, and compliant with the regulations. By leveraging this EA data framework, the organizations can actually train the AI models on high quality enterprise-wide data. Because in AI, one of the biggest challenges is actually the drifting of model, right? When we train, it can actually drift if the data is not correct. Of course, it also helps us to improve the decision making if we integrate Gen AI and EA. because combining the EA strategic perspective with generative AI's predictive capabilities, we can actually have an organization which is much better to take data-driven decisions. Now, operational resilience. This is also another area where integrating EA and as well as AI really helps a lot, or probably puts a lot of impact, is operational resilience. For instance, automated failovers like disaster recovery mechanisms and high availability frameworks, safeguarding the AI operations, maintaining a customer's trust and business continuity. All these things play seamless when EA and AI really works together. And of course, last but not the least, the fostering innovation part. Now, see, I mean, we all actually try for having innovations in today's market in every organization. By embedding the generative AI into our agile workforces, the EA can actually support these kind of initiatives by rapid prototyping and experimentation on that one. Now, this fostering culture of innovation enables actually the teams to quickly develop an AI-driven solution, such as like any of those personalized marketing campaigns, the automated reporting tools and analytics maintenance systems and all. So in what we wanted to actually look into this slide is the EA and AI both are two different distinct capabilities. However, if we actually marry them together, there actually creates an overlap between them where we can see innovation, performance, decision-making capabilities, and customer experience, increase in customer experiences and all happens. So this is where the value lies in the entire value chain if we actually put together EA and AI. Well, of course, we cannot shy away from a few of the things which are like real life applications. Without talking about them, it makes no sense to tell that how they can actually be working together, or else it will be all on paper. Now we can actually explore some of the real life applications where the integration of generative AI and enterprise architecture can actually deliver very quick, impactful wins for the organizations. Some of the examples, let's say like AI-driven analytics for compliance and governance. Now, compliance is a very critical area where even a minor lapse can actually lead to severe penalties. The combination of generative AI and EA empowers our organizations to proactively manage compliance by automating the regulatory reportings. And also it helps us to identify the irregularities in the real time. For an example, banks can actually deploy the AI-driven analytics to monitor transactions, which can actually flag the suspicious activities such as anti-money laundering or any money laundering or fraudulent activity that actually happens through different patterns in the transfers. Now, this ensures the adherence of the global standards, like as I said, AML or probably know your customer, KYC, these kind of regulations. Furthermore, EA framework can actually provide the necessary scalability to handle the increasing data set and adopt the evolving regulatory landscape, ensuring the long-term compliance and operational agility. This is a very, very important area because in today's market, since over and over again, the threat actors are also increasing their capabilities by utilizing an AI capabilities at their end. So it also calls us to use the AI for us to also have the preventive mechanism to also grow leaps and bounds instead of having the very static or to some extent dynamic way of threat modeling or probably understanding the different kind of compliance issues. It's much better if we actually also use AI for that purpose. Now, self-optimizing systems, we all like to actually have a very automated environment where probably our systems can optimize itself. We can actually have our resource management done automatically. So resource optimization is actually very vital. Now, particularly during a period of peak demand, let's say as I was talking about during, let's say, an IPO or during, let's say, a global financial situation, or probably any CG or probably during any of the calamities if it is an healthcare system. This kind of resource optimization are very important because the generative AI can actually enables the systems to self-optimize to some extent, and based on the real-time requirements, it can actually also efficiently use the IT resources. For example, just imagine a trading platform, during a market opening hours, experiencing a very huge traffic surge, and the generative AI integrated in the ES framework can dynamically allocate the resources and reroute the workloads. Well, we all know about the dynamic scaling and all those capabilities in the cloud. However, not each and every components or CIs in our environment can actually scale up and down like the way and dynamically allocated resources and all. Whereas if we can have AI looking into this optimization and can look into these system performances and probably understanding the bottlenecks where it could be predicting, and then and in instead of having a reactive system, we can actually have a proactive system which can create some of those bottlenecks being removed by allocating more resources. That would be fantastic. Now, these approaches actually ensures the seamless customer experiences, because of course nobody wants to see a blank screen when in the morning market they want to try to probably click on some of the trading activities and all. So while reducing cost also is another fact, because we don't want to actually have a system running on its peak capability every single time when there is no resource requirement. So this is very optimal way of utilizing our resources and addressing both operational efficiency as well as the scalability. Now, real-time monitoring of system health, as I said, that could be another of course way of looking into things. Like in BFSI domains, AI can actually continuously assess systems like payment gateways or loan processing platforms, and can detect the potential slowdowns or the failures or the API call, or probably the weightage of each of the APIs can actually be changed based on probably the number of volumes we are having as an incoming request. These could be all things that we can actually look at as one of a few real-time applications of AI, and as well as to put together with EA. Now, I picked up a few case studies. Now, case studies, I'm definitely sure I don't need to really give a lot detail, because these are very generic case studies, and perhaps I would say it's very well-known case studies in a sense of how probably the AI chatbots are used for customer services. Now, in today's market, mostly all banks actually do have, or any financial service providers do have these AI chatbots. So without taking any name, I could say this is actually a very generic use case, most probably in industry like business, banking and financial services and insurances, where probably these chatbots can actually help us to answer some of the questions, like the way I mentioned at the very beginning about my account balances. I can actually ask for whether I'm eligible for a loan, and based on some of the few questions that it asks, it can technically understand what are the eligibility of me and all, and it actually offers an personalized support without a long wait or a queue time or something. Now, fraud detection is another critical aspect, or probably an application where generative AI can actually analyze the transaction patterns and identify the anomalies. Nothing much to say. There are many tools in the market right now today who are actually using these generative AI or AI models inside it, where it actually keep training the model based on the patterns that it has been receiving every day, and then eventually it comes to a level where it can predict, or it can understand what are the anomalies probably would be there in any set of transactions that may have. Underwriting is one very crucial activity in insurance domain. Now, predictive modeling can actually help insurers to assess the risk more accurately. For example, AI can analyze the historical data to predict the likelihood of a claim for a specific policyholder, or probably if in case it's very specifically like a kind of a policy where the customer actually makes a lot of claims, then probably it can actually help us to understand how to have fairer premiums, and how to actually have reduced risks and all. So these are some of those examples, or probably industry case experiences that we can actually talk about when we say how EA and AI can put together, create a very dynamic enterprise. Now, moving to some of the challenges that actually we could see. Of course, legacy system is one of the biggest challenge that in these days market, many of the companies are running with legacy systems, and adopting an AI and integrating with existing systems. It's a huge task. Specifically, if I may talk about banks and insurance companies, they're actually still running on decade-old infrastructures. Hybrid approaches can help modernize their systems without disrupting their operations. Now, biasness in AI algorithm is another challenge that everybody is actually talking about. Now, for example, an AI loan approval system might unintentionally favor certain demographics. So for this one, robust governance framework ensuring the AI models are fair and transparent. Many of the geographic locations, the countries, they are already having AI governance models that they wanted to probably enforce to have more robustness, more transparent, more fairer models and all. These are the things that organizations should actually look for to mitigate some of these challenges. Now, the last one, private cloud address AI challenges. This is actually, I just recently have taken a look at the Forrester's 2025 technology prediction for APAC market. The growth of private cloud will also occur in parallel to the public cloud, where it can actually address some of the challenges that some of these organizations are facing while adopting AI. The issues like data sovereignty, the issues like compliance, performance, and security. These can actually be taken care of this. And now some of the future trends. So to quickly run through, of course, ESG is something that everybody's actually talking about. So AI's role in ESG, where it can actually help some of the financial services. And now some of the future trends or assessing the environmental so to quickly run through, of course, ESG it can actually ensure the compliance with sustainability goals, gaining trust from eco-conscious customers. Now, in terms of the modular architecture for agility, offers an unparalleled agility modular architectures. So insurers can or any banks or FMCG or healthcare industry can actually deploy new features. Where probably telemetrics based products can actually without overhauling the entire IT infrastructure, they can actually roll it out very quickly. Some of these future trends we could see. Well, coming towards the end of this presentation, I would say that to conclude, the integration of generative AI with enterprise architecture represents a fundamental shift in how organizations approach the innovation, adaptability, and efficiency. These two way of working can actually together create a powerful foundation for intelligent business solutions across different industries. Now, in terms of probably takeaways, I would say it is that embracing the next generation technologies isn't actually just about keeping it up, but it also talks about taking it to a lead in a rapidly changing world. So we must need to actually be ready for that. By combining the strategic vision of EA with the transformative potential for the generative AI, the organizations can actually shape the future that is intelligent, resilient, and scalable. With this, I'll conclude my presentation. And now, thanks for your time. I'll be looking forward to address any of the questions that you have. Yeah. Philip, are you there?
Come back. We had a bit of an issue with your video.
Okay, maybe, but I can still hear you nice.
You can still hear me nice. Okay, yeah. If you just leave and come back, and then
Yeah.
okay, perfect. Yes. So we've got one here from Andre. How does Gen AI reshape product architecture strategies to accelerate development and innovation?
Well, that's a very good question. Generative AI, we generally look at it. I mean, these days in the market, right? Whenever we go and talk to anyone, first and foremost thing people have started actually talking about it's like a silver bullet. Like you have an issue, here is a pill. You take this one, and it's gonna solve you. But then generative AI is much more than that. And to some extent, when we talk to our board of directors, we actually talk to our higher management authorities. We sometimes understand that for them, generative AI is actually just only chat GPT, because they feel that I ask a question, it actually tells me something, that's generative AI. But then to be very honest, we really need a lot of education for our industry, within our industry also, to understand how generative AI can actually help in many things. Let's say product development, innovations, as I said. Now, if you are talking about a business product, of course, the business product requires a lot of modeling on the data, because when actually you go for a business product release, you really need to know what this product is actually targeting towards. If you're trying to actually target certain products for certain demographics, you need to actually have a lot of data from the past, where probably you can utilize your AI capabilities to synthesize those data and understand how applicable that product will be for that market. Now, generative AI and predictive AI, these are two parallel streams. Sometimes actually we think them as together or probably things separate, but they can actually complement each other. Now, generative AI can generate data, synthetic data that can actually be used to train my model, my predictive analytics model, and that can actually tell us the real life scenarios how to actually process. So how AI models work is that you train it with data. Now you need huge amount of set of data for different combinations. Now in real life, we cannot share our customer data. We cannot actually share many of those real life detail where actually I have PIIs and all. So we have very less chance and opportunity to train that model with real set of data. This is where generative AI comes very good in picture. This is one part of product development, and of course for innovation. Innovation is everywhere. Technically, you can use your innovative thinking cap on and probably go on and on utilizing how Gen AI can be used. As I said, let's say a robotic system which probably can do your take care of your investment, okay, without you even knowing. I mean, we everybody know, like in today's market, right? In all those platforms, those investment platforms that you talk about, oh, I have a robo advisor. Okay, so these are like innovations, right? They're coming up with. I mean, where probably one system is working on churning data and working for you. I'm just picking up those very real life examples so that it can help you. But yes, it is actually very important that Gen AI can actually drive a lot of innovations and product development.
Okay, all right, wonderful. We've just gone over time, but we'll take one more question here from Kathy, saying, "What do you see EA doing in relation to AI? You said transformational partnerships. Are you referring to determine AI initiatives, or how do you see governing AI?"
That's Kathy, is a very good question. In fact, it's a very nascent phase of every organization's adopting AI. I was reading, as I said, that a few of those predictions for 2025, and one of very prominent CEO actually, he used a term called POC fatigue. So in the last 1 year or 2 years, right, we actually been using a lot of POCs. The organizations are really doing and burning all the engine and then turning on all the gears and then going for all the POCs because they wanted to just jump in the bandwagon. But then this is where the AI capabilities may lead you towards something which probably is not in line with your vision or probably where you want to use it. When actually AI keeps giving you more thrust to move forward, the EA can actually potentially give you the guardrails so that the thirst that actually you're having can actually lead you towards what is desirable for your enterprise. Whether it is in a sense of a governance, governing the AI model itself, governing the data that you are using for training, or whether you are actually talking about whether is the right place where I'm actually putting my dollars, okay, for in terms of the investments. So basically, it's both. We can actually talk about how the AI initiatives should be taken, where it should be taken, and how it should be governed when we take it.
Okay, wonderful. Kathy makes a comment, although also known as pilotitis, a disease.
Yes.
We're a little bit over, but there is one more question here, so we'll go with that one as well. With AI still being relatively new capability, noting that governing bodies are still working through the guardrails and associated compliance, how do we prepare our source data sets and plan for a considered and responsible adoption?
Well, Duncan, that is a very important thing that we need to understand. Data is at the heart of AI. So AI doesn't walk its own. A model doesn't actually walk its own. So you need to train it. It's like a baby. So when we actually train a baby with information, how the world should go, what are the good things, what are the bad things, what should not be done, what should be done, the baby actually grows up as a complete human being and then behaves that way. If we deviate at the very beginning, we call it drift, model drift. Then technically you are giving birth to a monster. So AI being very relatively new as a capability, there are very less, as you said correctly, there are very less guardrails in a sense of how we should make sure that the decisions it's making are fair, it's actually unbiased, and it is transparent. Explainability is there, and all those things like there are many governance framework these days people are coming up with, but then nothing is actually very concrete yet. However, I think one thing that we can at least make sure is that the source data set. Now, every organization has almost to some extent have created a data lake, whatever name you actually call it, whether you call it data lake, whether you call it a data mart, or whether you call it probably, I don't know, many names. EDWs probably in the older days we used to call them data warehouse. So we have tons of data. Now we need to scrub it. We need to make sure the data is clean. We need to make sure no PII, no sensitive informations are there. We can mask them, or if we cannot do, we can actually use generative AI to generate synthetic data, which follows in our guidelines that what it should be, and different environments and different scenarios, and then train the model. At least we can stop that model drifting. Now the models, whether they are actually governance should be there, or what kind of output they're producing, that definitely depends on many of those governance framework that we can use. Well, I would say nothing is still concrete yet. Like EU has come up with some of the AI probably governance guidelines. There are many organizations, many countries are actually coming up with their own things. We can hear every now and then companies are suing countries are suing the companies by using generative AI's capability to do certain news things and all. So it's a very volatile time. I think what we need to make sure is that we need to have a human element in that one. We still are not actually very much mature to call it artificial intelligence to be the heart of everything. We still need to rely on a human element that called actual intelligence.
Okay, wonderful. Well, hopefully that answered your question, Duncan. All right, well, we will end the session here. But yeah, thank you, Samajit, for a great presentation and some really nice answers there as well. We are
Thanks,
now
everyone.
at a networking break, so yeah, take about 25 minutes now until the next presentation. So take a bit of time to join the networking, visit the expo, grab a drink, and yeah, we'll see you all back there soon. Thanks again, Samajit.
Yeah, thank you.